Welcome back. The European benchmark for ferrochrome prices for Q2 of calendar year 17 has been fixed slightly higher than what the market was expecting. Is that going to be a positive for companies like Mr Subhrakant Panda, the managing director of the company, joins us on the line? That's the first question, Mr. Panda. A, is it higher than what you were anticipating? And if yes, by how much? How would it compare with the prior quarters? And what percentage of your selling price of ferrochrome is linked to the European benchmark?
Good morning. You're absolutely right that the ferrochrome benchmark price for the April to June quarter has been set at 154 cents per pound of chrome content. That's roughly about 6.7% lower than in the current ongoing quarter, which was at 165 cents. But you actually need to see it in the context that barely a couple of quarters ago we were hovering around the $1 mark. And it was actually in the January to March quarter that prices moved up sharply, keeping in line with a surge in spot prices in China. So what we have been saying is that we expect a slight cooling off, and that's actually better in the long term because when you have had such a sharp up move from from about $1.10 to $1.65. For it to cool off a little bit is actually not bad. It brings us into sustainable territory, and you have to see it in the context of where realization stood through all of 2016, and we are still substantially higher. And I'd just like to add here that the fundamentals which are driving ferrochrome remain unchanged, which is strong demand coming out of China and other countries, as well as high chrome ore prices, which is of course an input cost.
All right, Mr. Panda, thanks a lot for giving us the industry backdrop as well. But a couple of questions then. At this level, what exactly could the EBITDA per ton be for IMFA? And at the same time, what kind of volumes do you expect in Q4?
Well, as far as Q4 volume is concerned, we are looking at about roughly about 55 to 57,000 tons. That will for FY17 will take us slightly above the guidance that we had given, which is roughly about 230,000 tons. But in terms of volumes for FY18, we are actually projecting about 250,000 tons. Because of a higher environment clearance for one of our units, which has come through a little while ago. So you will actually see a volume boost for FY18. Right.
Mr. Panda, what exactly is the EBITDA per ton you can do at $1.54 per pound at the amount that was set by yesterday?
First of all, one clarification, the actual transaction prices are actually lower than what the benchmark prices are. So, you'll see transaction prices being lower than that. But EBITDA margins should be fairly healthy at about, 30-35%.
The EBITDA per ton, if you can tell us the absolute number?
It's safe to work with a figure of roughly about 35,000 rupees a ton.
Thank you, Mr. Panda, for taking the time out and speaking with us. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this show. We leave the Nifty still up close to about 0.6%.